Every January is like the pressure just hits you immediately. What huge stressful goal are you going after this year? What big world-changing thing are you going to achieve? And, today we are throwing that entire exhausting script out.
We really have to. That pressure to perform, that drive for the perfect year, that's usually what leads to, burnout by February.
Exactly.
So we wanted to find a better way. Our mission in this deep dive is to synthesize insights on how to craft your best year. A year that is, calm, sustainable, and real.
And built not on pushing harder, but on something else.
Right. On self-compassion and just simple consistency.
We dove into a really fascinating collection of source material, a conversational exchange that on the surface was about one thing, but beneath it contained these profound, simple strategies for mindset.
And we're just extracting the key nuggets here so you can rapidly absorb the formula.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The first step isn't forward planning. It's you have to stop and look back.
That essential step back is so crucial. Because when we think about the 365 days that just passed, we tend to rush it. We just give a quick answer.
Oh, yeah, it was fine.
It was fine, or it was busy. But a year is messy. It's full of good days, bad days, and just normal, boring days. And every single one of those counts.
Messy is definitely the word for it. There's this strange kind of mixed feeling that comes with reflection. You feel a little tired, yes, because you carried a heavy load.
For sure.
But at the same time, you feel immensely proud of yourself for carrying it.
And that's where that analogy of the heavy backpack really lands. You were carrying the weight of, deadlines, family needs, unexpected crises.
Just life.
Just life stress.
Yeah.
You were tired because the weight was real.
But the big insight isn't just acknowledging the weight. It's about what happens when you finally open that backpack.
Right.
You might think it's just full of rocks, all the stress, the burdens, but when you look closely, you find the snacks.
I love that. The snacks. And they aren't just happy memories. They are like psychological reinforcement.
How do you mean?
Well, they're the small wins, the unexpected laughs, the times you handled something difficult, and maybe even surprised yourself. By consciously identifying those moments, you're literally reprogramming your brain to look for success, not just stress.
You're training your system to seek out the good data.
Exactly. And often, the deepest lessons for the next year are buried in the worst moments of the last one. The source material highlighted this anecdote of the overwhelming week.
Right, the week where nothing catastrophically bad happened, but 10 tiny problems all arrived at once.
Yes, that feeling where your brain is already tired before the day even started, that constant mental load, just fighting small fires all day long.
I know that feeling.
And the aha moment born from that stress wasn't a sudden burst of energy to push harder, which is what we're all conditioned to think we need.
Wait, so that's pretty counterintuitive, isn't it? I mean, in the modern world, if you're stressed, the advice is usually to optimize more, multitask, just grit your teeth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the actual lesson was radical. The solution was to slow down sometimes and ask for help. That hard moment taught them how to live the next year differently.
By prioritizing slowness and kindness over speed.
Over speed and output. It's about building in the resilience to handle the next time that happens.
And that contrast is so key. You compare that heavy week to the bright, quiet moments that recharge us. The sources mentioned a quiet evening with close friends, cooking something simple.
And staying at the table for hours, laughing over old memories.
Yeah, and the really simple observation that during those hours, almost nobody touched their phones.
Wow.
That profound sense of calm, connection, just being, very human.
Those moments are the small lights.
The small lights are everywhere. If you look, maybe it was a kind message you got, or for you, maybe it was finally ordering food in a second language and being perfectly understood.
A huge win.
A huge, tiny win. Those are the true fuel you carry forward, not the massive, exhausting achievements.
So once you've unpacked that backpack, you've sorted the rocks and enjoyed the snacks. Then you have the clarity you need to ask the most important question for the year ahead.
Okay, so this brings us to the core mindset shift.
It does. This is where we replace the stressful way of thinking. The best year is not about striving for perfection or some massive external goal.
Right. The key insight is replacing that whole productivity dogma of more faster with something different.
With a philosophy of less, better. Instead of asking, what massive goals must I achieve? You first have to ask, what do I want less of?
That process of elimination is so powerful, it changes the whole game.
It really does.
We're talking about wanting less stress, less comparing ourselves to strangers on the internet, less of that feeling of being constantly behind.
And this isn't just philosophical, it's practical. Knowing what is heavy and what is light in your life makes everything feel so much lighter. You know what you need to release.
And once you know you want less pressure, you can define what you want to keep.
Exactly. You want to keep the calm, the consistent learning, the small wins that feel genuinely good, those moments of quiet connection.
So that's the foundation, knowing what to release. And once we have that clear mindset, we need the engine for progress. The sources gave us this really simple recipe.
A repeatable formula for consistency that avoids that burnout cycle.
Because big, ambitious plans, they just fail so often because they require this huge amount of motivation every single day.
They do.
That's why this formula works. It's built on low effort and high repetition. So ingredient 1, which we just established, is the clear mindset, knowing what to keep and what to release.
And ingredient 2 is where the magic is. Small daily habits. These are tiny, almost insultingly small actions that are doable every single day, no matter how busy or tired you are.
And that's the magic, right? They add up. By the end of the year, that 2-minute action becomes huge. I heard them called brushing teeth for your brain.
Oh, I love that. Brushing teeth for your brain.
Yeah.
Because it requires zero mental negotiation. Can you give me a practical example of one of those?
Absolutely. Think about the psychological barrier of starting a huge study session versus just committing to studying English for 10 minutes.
So much easier.
Or instead of a massive workout, just commit to doing one stretch before bed. Or writing one thing you're grateful for every morning. It takes less than 2 minutes, but it changes your mental framework for the whole day.
Even sleeping just 30 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
That's a massive, tiny habit.
Yes. The goal isn't immediate, dramatic improvement. It's just to never break the chain. If you make it so easy you can't say no, you win the year.
Okay, so ingredient 3, and this is one where I think a lot of high achievers struggle, is slow down and pause. We equate stopping with laziness or failure.
And that's the big paradox we need to talk about, right? Is slowing down just a fancy word for procrastination? How do you distinguish a productive pause from just avoiding a task?
The distinction lies in intention and rhythm. Slowing down means resting, stepping away, and letting go of what doesn't fit today.
So if you take a 5-minute walk or a short phone break, you're not failing.
Not at all. You're just acknowledging your own capacity. And the surprising thing is, slowing down actually makes you feel more productive.
How so?
Because when you return to the task, you're not fighting that internal resistance that comes from exhaustion. You go at your own rhythm, which is the only sustainable rhythm in the long run.
That makes sense. Okay, moving on to ingredient 4, we shift to input. Choose what you feed your mind. This is your mental diet.
We talk so much about physical diet, but what you consume mentally is just as important, if not more so.
So who you listen to, what you read.
What podcasts inspire you, who you compare yourself to, slowly but surely, that becomes your thoughts, your feelings, and then your actions.
And if you're constantly feeding your mind the comparison trap of curated social media, you're basically setting yourself up to feel behind.
For sure. But if you focus on good books, high-quality content, and people who lift you up, that becomes your default internal voice. Choosing your mental diet carefully is a powerful, low-effort habit.
Which brings us to the last one, ingredient 5. And this is arguably the biggest secret for a sustainable year.
Especially for anyone prone to perfectionism. Be kind to yourself. This is radical self-compassion in action.
It's so true. We tend to be so much harder on ourselves than we would ever be on a friend.
Oh, absolutely.
If a friend misses a goal, we tell them, breathe, try again tomorrow, it's okay. If we miss a goal, we throw the whole process out and judge ourselves so harshly.
And that's why self-compassion is productive, not lazy. It's what prevents total burnout. You have to allow yourself to make mistakes, to learn slowly.
You forgive yourself immediately when you miss a habit.
Immediately. Don't abandon yourself because of one misstep. If you miss studying one day, you just smile, breathe, and start again tomorrow. That grace ensures the goal is a gentle year, not a perfect one.
So we have this simple, powerful recipe, but we have to address the external reality. As soon as the calendar turns, you face the external pressure trap. Everyone, family, friends, your boss, is suddenly demanding a dramatic statement. What are your goals? What's your 5-year plan?
And the honest answer is, I'm still trying to decide what kind of coffee I'm making this afternoon. We feel this need to perform certainty for others, even when we don't feel it ourselves.
So what do? The sources give us strategies for these simple, honest, and realistic responses.
Right. When someone asks about big goals, you don't need some corporate buzzword answer.
What can you say?
You can just say, I just want to take better care of myself this year. Or I want to learn a little every day. Not a lot, just a little. It shifts the focus from performance to consistency.
And if they ask what you're going to change, you can resist that urge for a dramatic declaration.
Exactly. You can confidently say, I don't want to change everything. I just want to improve one thing.
And this is so relevant for work, too. It's not just your family asking. It's that annual review.
Yes. Having the confidence to say, I'm focusing on improving this one core skill this quarter, and I'm dedicating 10 minutes a day to it, is a powerful reassertion of control.
And for that inevitable 5-year plan question, you have phrases that empower you.
You do. You can smile and just state, I don't have a clear 5-year plan yet, but I know what I want right now.
Or, and this might be the most powerful one,
I think it is. The most powerful and validating phrase you can use is, I'm still figuring things out. That sentence affirms that you don't need your whole life mapped out. One small direction, one small step today is more than enough. You're still moving forward.
So, to summarize the whole formula, we start with a clear mindset. We commit to small daily habits. We remember to slow down and pause. We choose what we feed our mind. And above all,
We practice radical self-kindness. That is the formula for a sustainable, real year. The tiny repeated things become huge by the end of the year.
and this deep dive really showed that the people who create their best year are the ones who stop treating their life like a 5-year business plan.
Where a single failure sinks the whole project.
Right. So what does this all mean for you listening right now?
It means we have to see life as a series of small experiments. A laboratory where trying things out like waking up early 3 times a week is just the norm.
And in an experiment, failure is just data.
It's just data. It's met with a shrug and a laugh, not self-judgment. So if you could pick just one small, tiny habit today to start this process, what would it be? Remember, one small step today, consistently repeated, grows into your best year tomorrow.